has 18 points his last 14. Here's a chance to score. Wide open in the slot, it's Josh Doan. Jersey fires, save, Pickard, rebound, chop, score. Maccelli challenging, shooting and scoring.
So I made a video on the boat about the Arizona Coyotes and their apparent move to Salt Lake City, Utah. It was unfortunate that it happened while I was on the boat because my editing capabilities right now, it's just very limited. But let's talk about the Arizona Coyotes and the statement made by Alex Meruelo yesterday. The statement says, "There has been a lot of discussion in recent days about the future of the Arizona Coyotes. I understand and empathize with the concerns of our fans and our community, our partners, our players, and our front office, and all of our team members. I hope to address these issues as soon as I'm able to speak on the topics. We are focused on a myriad of issues that are unresolved, and I therefore, well, we put like a little bracket, therefore we are unable to make any official public comments at this time. However, you have my commitment that I'm going to speak on all of these issues and publicly address all of your concerns as promptly as possible. Respectfully, Alex Meruelo." So this is the thing, him making a statement, not really saying anything, just understanding there's rumors. There's a real strong indication it will be moving to Salt Lake City, Utah. Now, do I think that's the perfect place? No, I think a place like Houston would be far better off if they're going to move a team. But Salt Lake City, it's relatively close, can stay in the same division. And I understand it from that standpoint. And hey, maybe Utah surprises me and they're like a passionate hockey fan base and things go beautifully there. The one thing that's been interesting though is the stipulation that's been rumored to be attached that Meruelo could have a chance to bring back the Coyotes, I believe in the 2026-2027 season, or might be the 2027-2028 season, if he's able to secure that new facility in Phoenix. Now, the Scottsdale mayor, he was not very happy initially with the Coyotes being just over the border, which is funny because he's the mayor of a neighboring city, not Phoenix itself. And to me, when the Tempe proposal got refused, I thought it was kind of over in Arizona. But if Morelo's able to make a great facility, shopping district, all of that, who knows? Maybe hockey could be back in the desert. But all this minutia is all rumors. We do not know for sure. But I kind of wanted to go into the breakdown, the statistical breakdown of the Arizona Coyotes, their attendance, and everything that kind of follows along with that. Because the big thing that's been levied against the Coyotes is they are not a profitable team. So I want to go into attendance first because I feel it's important to have a kind of a full grasp of what's going on here. You know, since the 2010-2011 season, team home average, 12,534. You do notice in these years an increase is 6% to 5%. But then 2013-2014, a minus 1%. 2014-2015, minus 3%. Just stayed around the same the next season after that. Minus 2 in 2016-2027. So you see this steady decline. 2017-2018, minus 0.4. So, I mean, relatively the same. But then you saw a little bit of a boost, 7% increase, and then a 4% increase. So, you know, it's weird with the Coyotes. You're seeing decline, but then also towards the tenure of 2019-2020, an increase over a period of time. So I'll switch graph to continue to this season. 2018-2019, like I said, around just under 14,000. 2019-2020, an uptick, 14,600. This is their average attendance. 2022, then you have that year that there was no attendance, and then 2021-2022, it did see a big drop off to 11,000, and then you see the move to the Mullet Arena, where they've averaged 4,600 for both of these seasons. But we all know what the most important thing in this world is: making money, especially when you're in the NHL. The NHL isn't like the NFL, MLB that just prints money like crazy. I should include the the NBA in that as well. When I look at the NHL, I understand what they are, right? I'm not expecting billion-dollar years from teams. But when you look at the Arizona Coyotes and compared to their contemporaries, the revenue's not crazy. So this graph goes back from 2005-2006 season to 22-23 season. So around those first few years in this graph, around 63 to 70 million. As you go on, 67, 80, 92. So you're seeing a little bit of an uptick from 2014-15 season until the 2019-2020 season, right? So, 80, 92, 100, 101, 98, 96, 102, 95 million, which for the Coyotes, I mean, that's a good boost. And in 2019-2020 season, only 66 million, but 127, 120 million in their past 2 years. So you're seeing a steady increase of revenue. And if you just take it in a vacuum, you have to understand, like, hey, hockey is growing in Arizona. And I've mentioned this a few times, but I also think hockey itself is starting to get popular there. I mean, Austin Matthews grew up in Arizona, and he's a NHL superstar. And I think just the programs, everything's going to get better. And it just takes time to kind of get a foothold in a community, especially with how, I'm just going to be very polite about it, how anemic the Arizona Coyotes franchise has been. I mean, outside of Shane Doan, like, there really wasn't anybody crazy there. I mean, Brian Boucher had that amazing run of consecutive shutouts. But the Coyotes, for, just lack of better words, haven't had much success in the NHL. But, if you look at that graph, you see a good trajectory. Now, I'm going to share the Bruins because I think this is actually kind of hopefully put some things in perspective. So the Bruins, I mean, all things considered, being an original six franchise, 86 million, 87 million, it's the same time frame. But you notice 97 million, 108 million, 110, 125, 129. They're still relative, like you see a incline, 164, 158. 2018, 2019, $228 million. In comparison, just to show this, 2018, 2019 for the Coyotes was only 102 mil. And, that year that I can't mention on YouTube because it will get demonetized, you had a dip the next year, 170, but then 218 and then 239 million. Now, these will go up. Revenue is always going to go up and down in the NHL. But, last season, the Bruins, 239, Coyotes 120, almost pretty much double of what the Coyotes are making. And maybe it's not fair to compare an original six franchise with a lot of history, but I still believe hockey can work. I don't think it's wild to say that hockey can't work. I don't think it's wild to say that hockey can work in Arizona. I just think they need to have a steady base. They need to have an owner that believes in them. Because, looking at these beginning numbers for the Bruins, I mean, just kind of flipping between, $10 to $20 million difference. I don't think that's that wild. I just don't. It's actually funny. One of my big memories growing up with the Coyotes is them having Jeremy Roenick when they were playing the Bruins early on, very, very early on. But I think when it kind of comes down to it, everybody wants to pile on the Coyotes, and I can understand it. I think there is a market there. I know it's been years at this point. I know it's been a struggle. And even in my last video, I said Arizona can be a very fickle sports state. But kind of looking into the underlying numbers, you have seen it increase. Will it ever be the biggest market in the NHL? No. I think you have the financial burden of how expensive hockey is, but, you are in the desert. And I'll say to counter that, though, the Vegas Golden Knights, they have been spectacular. Who's to say if the Arizona Coyotes don't put a great product on the ice? Maybe that galvanizes the fan base and gives them the even more diehards than they already have. All in all, I'm sad for Coyotes fans. They have passionately supported this team, been in the Mullet Arena, which, if I'm going to be frank, is an embarrassment to have an NHL team play in a college arena. But they've been supporting their team. It's just, with all the politics that have gone around, some terrible, terrible ownership prior to Meruelo that just fumbled the bag in Scottsdale, well, Glendale initially, Scottsdale area, and it's just the proposal being refused in Tempe. It might just be good for the Coyotes to go to Salt Lake City to get a complete fresh start. And I have to say, if they do move out of Arizona, I think it would be very hard to bring them back, especially considering all the issues they had to deal with just to get a damn ice rink put in Phoenix. But I'd like to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If the Arizona Coyotes do move to Salt Lake City, do you think they'll eventually come back, or do you believe the experiment of having an NHL team in Arizona is over? Appreciate it if you drop a like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.